And we're live.
Kyle's coughing a lot.
Yeah, I'm sorry. It's this.
Yeah, Kyle. What could it be?
It's this Delta-8 vape that I hit way too aggressively. It's very strong. Like this is 90% as strong as marijuana.
Delta-8.
Does Delta-8 make you cough more than pot?
I can't tell the difference.
It depends. So like, there's so many ways, as we've talked about many times. There's so many ways to intake this stuff. When I do a dab, I cough a lot. It's for a newcomer to doing dabs. It's scary because you're like, am I having an asthma attack? Like, I've never had an asthma attack. I don't have asthma, but I've seen people have them on TV. Like, usually every cough, you sort of feel a little better because like each cough is clearing something out and getting fresh air into your lungs and inflating them more fully than they were before. But it seems like when you take a dab, your lungs are like, what the fuck have you done to us? Turtle mode. And it's almost like getting punched in like the solar plex, how it takes a while. Like you can't forcibly inflate your lungs all the way right away. You're kind of gasping for those breaths.
Yeah, it sucks.
It's a panicky.
This does not sound like a good way to get high.
It is the best way to get high.
It's the best way to get high.
But you suffer through the first 60 seconds, and then you are out of your goddamn gourd. You are actually what I consider to be stoned. And but
Kyle's a gatekeeper when it comes to
look, I'm being a gatekeeper here. Look, I guess it depends on tolerance, of course, and a lot of other factors. But when you do concentrate, you are getting stoned. You are fucked up. But no, like this is like, I don't know, probably like the third best way to intake this stuff. But this stuff is different than marijuana, like you said. I think it does hit a little bit differently. But they all make me cough if I take big hits like I just took of this. When I was in Illinois last week, I had a lot of those vape pens. What's interesting, the same company that makes these for Delta-8 makes them for THC. Because like,
I'm sure probably an easy little transition on their line.
But think about how weird that is, that like visually speaking, they're identical. Like you completely identical. Like this item and the item that I would purchase in Illinois that has THC in it. Like it's, I don't know. I wish that this was like fucking Disney letters and cartoon shit on it, and it didn't look like what the real shit looked like in Illinois.
You want it to be like a children's toothbrush with like Captain Marvel on there.
Yeah, I cleaned my luggage out so many times, making sure I didn't have like a cartridge or something in my pocket before I fucking came back.
You were talking about dabs. Like when I was in college, like pretty much all everybody smoked was flower, and I had a bong at my apartment, and I would rip that and smoke flower, and I liked it. I remember the first time I took a dab, I went to a buddy's place, and it was before a party. Pretty sure it was the first time I took a dab, and we're at his apartment, and like, you know, those like almost little towns they make on college campuses with tons of like apartments and villas and things. We were at one of those, and it was maybe 30 minutes before people were scheduled to arrive, and he's like, dude, we're all going to do a dab before people get here. And I'm like, oh, I've never done that before. And already I see the blowtorch on the table and I'm intimidated. This is a level of drugs I'm not prepared for.
Yeah.
And so they're like, don't worry about it. You smoke out of your bong, like with flower. Just imagine taking like 3 big hits of that. And I'm like, oh, okay, well, this is less scary. I guess it's just a more economical way to do it. They gave me way too big of a dab. And I think I coughed the entire 30 minutes until people arrived. And I had the most stressful, probably hour after that point before I came down to a reasonable, okay level. Where like delayed, like I'd reach to like get a beer or like a glass of water, and I feel like my hand should be 4 inches ahead of where it is. Like it was terrible. And I didn't do a dab for a long time after that because I was like, fuck this. This is like Everclear to what Bud Light is. And
do you remember how big roll? Do you remember how big the dab was? Like compared to like
someone did it for me. I wasn't even looking at it. They had it on the little thing, and it was a ceramic nail, and they were just saying like, just hit it like a bong, and I just kept hitting it until they stopped moving the thing, when in reality they should have like put a little bit on there and like maybe a little more, just kind of dabbing it instead of doing that like swirly scoop where you're trying to get the whole thing off of like the dental tool that you use to put it there, or whatever that thing is. You know what I'm talking about.
It's called a dabber.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's still too intense for me. I don't want to do those. I'm fine with just the little vapes. That's all good. And look at how much
I'm not enjoying this.
Vape of yours is making me cough.
That was too much. I haven't hit that particular one in 2 weeks or something. It's been sitting on this desk, and for whatever reason, that is a stressful amount of high I am right now, and that is making me cough way too much. I don't know. Maybe sitting here made it more potent. But yeah, I know what you mean. Dabs are my favorite way to get high.
It's too much. It's too much.
You just do less. You just do less, and that helps with like how intense they are as well. Like if you just do less, it's not as.
It does taste nicer. I noticed that the first time I did it is that it tastes a lot. It tasted like cleaner and sweeter almost, whereas you kind of got some nonsense with flour. So I'm sure I was getting bullshit quality flour in Missouri in 2010.
Yeah, you never know if someone has grown it indoors and sprayed it with a pesticide or some sort of miracle grow nonsense and not cleaned it off. That was always like the biggest fear, like buying weed from just some dude. It's like, oh, you have weed? Yeah, give me some. He didn't grow this in his apartment and spray Miracle Grow on it, did he? Probably not. Like, you don't know. You don't know what you're smoking.
No clue. But I mean, the Miracle Grow, don't you spray that on the base of the plant to make it grow faster? You're not dusting the nugs with that.
I don't know, man.
I don't know. I've never grown
heard
weed.
of stuff like that happening. Like when you look at the idiots who grow meth and how they're always blowing themselves up.
Who grow meth?
Yeah,
my meth plant is coming along nicely. Yeah, this fucking toothless retard growing meth in a potter in the corner of his living room.
Is Miracle Grow bad for you?
If you smoke it.
Well, no, Miracle Grow is good for gardens. Yeah,
that's why I'm stuck. Because like as a kid, I used Miracle Grow on my tomatoes and whatever. And Kyle's like, I hope he didn't use Miracle Grow, and I'm like, that's what you put on plants. I didn't consider that you burn it and inhale it differently. And
I'm more worried that he's getting some Miracle Grow spray, like cross-contaminated, like right on the thing I'm going to smoke, like the bud. And I'm going to smoke like some sort of really any kind of pesticide or chemical that you would add to any sort of plant.
I wash my nugs like a tomato.
Are you still hitting that thing, or has it just been 16 minutes and you're still coughing?
It's been about 4 minutes, and I am uncomfortable. I don't know why that hit so hard. That's what I was saying a minute ago. Not feeling well. It'll go away in a minute. It'll go away in a minute.
Yeah, this is awful. This is a terrible thing.
This is not a good selling point to Woody, who's like, oh, you know what? He's coughing a lot. He's having to mute. I think I'm good over here with my coffee. Or I don't even know if
this is type 2 fun.
It'll be type 1 fun in just a few minutes once you stop coughing. Don't you have a water or something next to you? Jesus.
I've been drinking the whole time. It doesn't help. It's like in my lungs.
Have you considered pouring it into your lungs?
Yes. It's going to be difficult.